Yeah. So. Hey everybody, let me set up a few things and then I'll be right there. Just a moment. That works as well. Hey everybody, just a quick check if you can hear me, if you can give me some feedback in the chat if the sound is working, and if you hear a slight sound of music in the background. I have some music put on, but I don't know if it's too silent or if it's good enough. Severio, thanks a lot. Thanks for the feedback. All right, so hey Jay, thanks for being here again. So, just as a quick introduction to the stream, first of all, hello everybody for to the stream today. Thanks for checking in. I will be continuing the avatar sculpt from Aang that I started a few streams ago, and it started from a random head and it developed into a homage to The Last Airbender. Someone suggested that it, or pointed out that it looked like Aang, and I thought, why not push it to that, or push it into that direction. So I think Jay, it was you that suggested that, so thanks again for that. And yeah, so this is the current state where we left off, I think 1 week ago on Sunday. And yeah, today I want to finish the cloth and maybe change the pose a little bit as well and bring it to a final level. So maybe I will do a paint over in the end as well, just to give it the extra little touch, maybe refining the hair or adding some specular reflections here and there just to push it to the next level. But I don't know how far we will get today. Let's see how far. Yeah. Itanet, hello to you as well. Hope you have a great day. KG Art, K Art, thanks for being here, and thanks. Jay, I definitely mentioned it, but I think someone else said do the arrow. Ah, I see. Yeah, it was some time ago, so I'm not quite sure who it was anymore, but yeah, I think I will do a slight change on the arrow as well. I will do the strip that goes back is too thin, this one here, so I think I will add some more color there to make it thicker. So yeah, this is the plan for today. And as always, if anyone has any questions, just let me know. Some questions may be a bit too long, and it's not possible for me to show certain things, but most of the stuff I can quickly show you, and or just if there's anything that you want to talk about, let me know as well. I like to talk about random things sometimes as well, but if there isn't anything, I will most of the time talk about what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, I hope it's interesting, and let's dive in, I would say. So, all right, just getting a quick overview of the model itself again. So most of the stuff here is done with the dynamic subdivision at the moment. So this is giving the meshes thickness, and I want to stay with the single-sided mesh as long as I can, since I don't have to worry about intersecting the back face with the front face. So this way I have much more control over it. So, but since I want to add more details on top of it, I will probably have to change it into normal polygons fairly soon. So, how is everybody doing? So, I think it's actually time for me now to duplicate this stuff and apply the modifiers, so I have true geometry here. And this does all look good. What I will do is to add some more, oh, sorry for the loud music. What I will do is to insert more edge loops here, and this will allow me to reconstruct the subdivision levels of the mesh that I had before. So let's get 1, 2, and 3 in there, and the same on the top one here as well. So I get 2 subdivision levels back. So now I can do the reconstruct subdivision levels 2 times, and then I have a my subdivisions back that I lost through the application of the dynamic subdivision before. Alright, so let's see here. That should, yeah, just checking the bevel here, if this is fine or not. So turn back symmetry again, and I'm smoothing out the edges here, just to get rid of that harsh line. And most of the detail will probably come through the use of the stitch brushes and giving like small detail around the edges here. So it's asymmetrical. Here's some turning of symmetry. So this doesn't look too bad. Let's check how far I can go into the details here. Sometimes before I go and adding alpha maps and stuff like that, I zoom in and use a brush to see how the resolution holds up. And then I can see if I need another subdivision level or 2. Conics. He will come back when his time comes, so don't know about it. I'm wondering why there isn't anyone having or building on top of that pun. So it's so obvious, but so I'll just make a quick seam here just to see if I need another subdivision level. I think I do. So I will subdivide it to like 2 million polygons, 2 million points, and do the line again. You know what? I think I will mask out that area here and blur the mask inwards, and I think through that I should get the crease going as well, and it's a more procedural kind of way to get there. So this thickness here is I think the one that I'm looking for. And I can clean up the mask as well. And then I can invert it and use the deformation tab. Maybe Z-model it. Yeah, I think since I want to add stitches and stuff as well, I could have Z-modeled it, but I think I will go this way. It's more of an organic kind of approach. So inwards just a little. And then I'm blurring the mask again. Just like that. And then I will inflate it again. So this way I have a nice edge around the cloth. Cool. Calconics, time to create a new fake mail in order to keep using Maya. What do you mean? I mean, there are student versions out there, and I'm not quite sure how rigorous they check if you're a student or not. But yeah, I mean, I was using Maya before I went to university as well as a student version, and it worked. So maybe they have changed their license models. It runs out after 30 days. I see. Yeah, they updated their license systems like a lot over the years, so I'm not quite sure where they are at the moment. I still have mine over or through my university. So yeah, but Blender is fine as well. So if someone wants to start out, I think Blender is a good start. Hey Jay, they changed it recently. You need to student email and list your organization. I see. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't know how long Autodesk will stay in the movie industry or the creative industry, since most of their revenue they're getting through AutoCAD, which is huge. So I heard Maya's about 10% of their income, or even less, I'm not quite sure, but very little of the company's value. So, Calconics, are you using Maya at the moment? I always put names of rappers which I don't like into the email address. I see. Yeah. Yeah, when I used fake accounts, I always used Peter Maffei. I don't know why. I thought it was a funny name. I didn't know who he was. But it seemed to be kind of a singer or something like that. Yes, because of Arnold. Yeah, Arnold is really cool as well. I like to work with it. But now I'm trying to get more into cycles. Yeah, I don't know why I used his name as a fake name, but I thought it was funny. Tech Dragon, hey Finn. Hope that your day is going well. I'm currently working on a character statue for 3D printing, and I'm wondering how you prep yours for 3D printing. I'm getting non-manifold arrows. Most of the time I'm using I merge everything together with Dynamesh, and then I'm using the Z plugin Decimation Master. And when I get errors like non-manifold edges or geometry, then I like to go into geometry. Under modifier topology, you can go weld points or optimize points as well. Most of the time that fixes my issues. So it seems like they're overlaying edges, and yeah, faces that are kind of wrong. So maybe that fixes it. The Decimation Master should triangulate everything, and this way you get rid of all the n-gons and stuff. But yeah, weld points and optimized points, most of the time it fixes my issues. Calconics. Cycles is amazing. I use it a lot at work, but it doesn't have random walk version 2. That's a shame. But I think it's just a matter of a few weeks or a month, the most, before it gets implemented as well. So I just want to get familiar with the approach of Blender's UI and how they approached certain things. So I'm confident that they're developing that software further, that it becomes even better than it is today. And then I'm already used to the program, so hopefully it pays out in the end. But it's a small kind of risk. Hey, okie dokie, thanks for being here. Arnold is no more for me. So you're not using Maya anymore because of Random Walk version 2? Not quite sure. Tech Dragon, I'll give that a try. My character has layers of clothing which might be intersecting in places I can't see and causing that problem. Yeah, there is a bit of cleanup involved when there are like gaps and stuff between different objects. So most of the time what I'm doing is I rotate the model like this, and then using the inflate brush to like kind of, more of the inflate brush to close the gaps, and then I dynamesh it again and yeah, try to get as clean as possible in there. After random is inside of Blender. Ah, I see. Okay, yeah, I didn't read it correctly. Yeah, I think more and more people are switching over to Blender at the moment, so just a matter of getting some convenient features in Blender first that are currently holding users back to switch, but once they're implemented, then people will make the transition. So sorry for misreading your sentence. So, alright, now that I have the edge here, I want to do the same with the other pieces as well. So duplicating it, hiding the other one to be able to get back to it, and then under dynamic subdivision I'm applying the change. And I want to reconstruct the subdivision levels, so I'm inserting edges here to be able to reconstruct it. Jay, I think once Blender 3 is out, we'll have a huge exodus. I mean, the transition from 1 to, or from 2 to 2.8 is like huge, so I'm curious how far they will get over the years. Calconics. The only thing Blender can't replace for me is Painter, Mari, and Zbrush. I mean, as long as they can replace Maya, I think it's fine with me. They will have a hard time replacing Zbrush for me. And I'm not quite sure if it's even useful to try that. As the same with Painter and Mari. But when it comes to like rigging, rendering, simulations, assembling everything together, if they can manage to really compete with Autodesk, that would be great. because more people would be able to have access to it. The community is amazing. The quality will probably rise because of that. So yeah, we will see. But with the pace that they're going at right now, it will not take that long anymore, I think. So let's do the same trick here again. So masking one side, then I'm just blurring the mask and then sharpening it afterwards. And this way I will get this edge going here. So that looks good as well. And the same thing here, so inverse, then inflate it inwards a little bit, switching the mask, blurring it again, switching it again, so it's a back and forth kind of thing, and then inflate outwards. And there we think I should sharpen it once and then do it. Let's see. Yeah, that gives a better result. Jay, I would really like more render token implementation. I like the rendering experience so far. What I don't like at the moment is like the outliner and parenting and stuff like that. The linking system I haven't fully grasped yet, but I really like the viewport real-time rendering stuff, so it's really helpful. Eddie, I've been looking at your sculpting videos and trying to learn from it. My progress is really slow. Do you have any suggestions for learning fundamentals and speed up learning? If you want to learn the fundamentals, I would recommend practicing 2D drawing, because the rate of iterations that you go through that help you implement or ingrain the fundamentals. In 2D, it's much faster than in 3D. So when you're trying to learn proportions, for example, try to construct heads, like really basic head shapes, like with the Loomis method or the Riley method. There are a few different approaches to construct the face or the body. And this way you can draw a head or construct a head in like a minute or two, maybe even quicker, and do like 10, 20 or more of these in an hour or 2 hours, instead of sculpting it for like half an hour and don't get as much practice. So try to see it as problem solving, and you don't have to stick with 3D in order to learn the fundamentals. And in the beginning, I would say don't focus too much on adding details and stuff. Having a low resolution model of a study, for example, with this one here. If I do a quick block out of a skull, this resolution here is enough at the moment to study the basic proportions and stuff. And this way you can make faster iterations and getting everything out of the study that you need, and then move on to doing another one. And because the rate of things that you learn, or the amount that you learn from one sculpt, it decreases over time fairly quickly. So in the beginning stages you learn the most, and once you pass a certain threshold, the amount that you learn after that is very little. So it makes sense to put it aside and start with the next one. And this way you learn more in a shorter amount of time. J, I built out a node system once for a bunch of passes, but to my knowledge you can't save that as a preset. Oh, I see. And yeah, for Eddie as well, it takes a little bit of time. Not only a little, but probably a few years, since it's a craft that just takes practice and stuff. But if you like doing the stuff, then it's totally worth it. But yeah, 2D is helping quite a lot, or for me at least. So if that helps you, just give it a try maybe. Just a few hours to see if it helps you with your sculpting as well. I saw a huge improvement after I started doing more 2D as well, and this is why I will be doing kind of a 2D practice month, where we'll focus on the fundamentals with drawing, so perspective and anatomy and stuff like that, color theory, and all done in 2D. So this way, yeah, I can iterate quicker. All right, just want to get rid of a few of these wobbly lines here. So I'm going in with the move brush to tweak those a little bit. By render tokens, I mean like symbols, tags that automatically point your render passes to the correct folders. I see. So I think I must scrap the animation part of tough. Yeah, you're tackling quite a lot at the moment, so maybe, or it's not a failure if you shrink it down a little bit. It will probably sharpen your focus and make it more streamlined. Okie dokie. Is it recommendable to draw 2D traditionally or digital, or does it even matter if my aim is to get the fundamentals? I think traditionally it's might be even better, since you have to think a lot more before you put down a mark on the page, because it's much more permanent than digitally, and that forces you to not be lazy. In 2D you can erase everything perfectly, so you can reset all the time, which is enabling for bad habits. And in traditional, it's much more, yeah, that's the real deal, I would say. And if you want to go like extreme on that, you can sketch just with marker, not with markers, with pen, with a pen, or with an inking pen, for example. And this way, you know, if I put down the pen on the page, this line is permanent and I can't fix it anymore. And this trains your thinking, I think. Eddie, cool, thanks man. I never thought about learning 2D first. I'm a bit demotivated because the faces I make now, well, only mother could love them. Thanks a lot, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it's keep your models, make screenshots of them every time you did something, and save it in a folder so you can see your progression. It's not important how the model looks right now, but how it looks compared to your last model, not to someone else's, but to yours. And this way you see your progression. And it doesn't matter where you are right now as long as you're progressing, because then it's just a matter of time to get where you want to go. So yeah, all the best with your studies. Jay, yeah man, I got the body mesh to rig, but extra weight painting did like nothing. Spent like a week on it and I'm just getting demoralized. All for a skill that's just extra, as far as I know. I feel like I need to just get back to doing actual sculpting, get that down first. I mean, it's really good that you already covered the whole production line, so you don't have to be perfect at everything. But it's good to be really good at one thing that you can then sell and get jobs for. And when you're at a job and you're able to communicate with the other departments because you have experience in those departments as well, such as rigging, then it's for the better. So yeah, you're already on a good track, I think. And maybe focusing on a few aspects for now to really get good at them might be a good idea. Just to solidify the ground that you're standing on at the moment. So, and projects are better finished than perfect. So if you think that it's draining your energy at the moment, then maybe it's time to finish it in a manner that is still satisfying to you, but that gets it finished, and then you can move on to another one that gets you excited again. And this is probably more important than trying to get it perfect with this model. So duplicating this one here, same deal as with the others. Z-modeler, one here and one here. So reconstruct subdivision level. Why did it delete my polygroups? That's kind of strange. And it's not. Maybe I will leave it. Yeah, it's not. There's something messed up, but that's not a big of a deal. Jay, yeah, for sure. I have no intentions of rigging or being an animator or anything. Just wanna be able to understand what the next step would need for me. Yeah, it's a good approach. But yeah, I think you're doing the right decisions anyways. So just keep doing what you're doing. So now a bit of smoothing around the edges and one more subdivision level, and it's back to masking. So now it works. And are in Skyline. In search of followers, primes, and views, we will help you. BigFollows.com. No thanks. Alright. That is in place here. I think I have to stretch that here. So let's keep the mask blurred and just use the move brush to make the line thicker. Maybe from the other side, so I keep the silhouette here going. And I want to have an even width around the neck. So inversing again, and this looks much cleaner now. So sharpening, then inversing and inflating it inwards. So, and inflating it outwards again. And voila. This I can clean up with the damn standard brush. Yeah, that's good enough. Jay, my work is letting me do some more 3D stuff. Oh, that's cool. We're making these really simple low poly characters for toon shading. That's a cool, yeah, glad to hear that you're getting more into that from your work as well. And the cool thing with low poly stuff is you learn fundamentals with those as well, the proportions and stuff. It depends on the style that you're going for, but the rate of iterations with low poly models is higher. So, Eddie, you said about the Loomis method. Are there any other drawing methods I should look at? There are a few channels that you can check out on YouTube that have really cool tutorials online. So first of all, I would say Proko, Stan Prokopenko. He's awesome. He is teaching anatomy. Then there's Sykra, Cynics, Ahmed Alduri, Modern Day James. Modern Day James has some really nice fundamental lessons. Marco Bucci. And I think these should be a good start for all of them. So, DA Lyricologist just subscribed. Thanks for the follow, for the subscription. And when it comes to like perspective, for example, check out Scott Robertson. He has a book on the fundamentals. So it's called How to Draw by Scott Robertson and another author that I can't remember at the moment. But this is like the Bible of perspective. So if you're into that, make sure to check out his book. Akesh, what is angular view of your perspective view? I think it should be the default one, which is set at 90 or 50 millimeter. So yeah, 50 millimeter. So this is similar to how the human eye sees, and it should be set to that by default when you enable perspective view. All right. Now these are all done. Let's give this a little bit of thickness as well. But inwards, so it doesn't penetrate through the rest of the cloth. And I think I will apply that here, just so I'm able to get the edges with a stitching line here as well. Come on. Somehow it doesn't want to mask, so I will insert some edges here to have some geometry to select. Now this, and here as well. Sidant, love Modern Day James, he streams as well. Yes, I think on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. On Mondays. So yeah, I can really recommend his stuff as well. He is awesome. So same deal with as with the other ones. Masking. think this should be fine. Maybe this was too thick, so something like this. Inversing, inflating inwards. And inflating outwards as well. So, Eddie, thanks for the advice. Going to grab pencil and paper. See you around. Yeah, all the best. Thanks for joining the stream. And yeah, curious how it helps you. So, or if it helps you. So, would be cool to see next time that you're around if it helped you or not. So, yeah, all the best with your practice. So, this looks much better now. And what I will do next is to unwrap these things. So, I'm putting this all on one polygroup and the back face on one polygroup. And this way I can do an easy UV master symmetry, not symmetry, but only with polygroups, and unwrap that. And this way I should have a decent UV layout. Let's work on a clone to check if that's true or not. So flatten, and it is. So I'm gonna rotate both of these planes just so the tileable textures are oriented better. So, and Z plugin, unflatten, copy UVs, delete everything, and now I can paste the UVs on the lowest resolution here. And let's check with the surface noise how it looks. So, yeah, of course they put the UV seam right in the front, which sucks. So what I will do is to go back to the UV master and work again on a clone, and this way I will enable control poly painting, just so I can paint where I want to protect the meshes. Jay, you a sports guy, Finn? Not so much, unfortunately. I've never been into like team sports and stuff like that. I'm more into going to the gym or running. But yeah, I should definitely do more of that. So, but it's a hard thing to stay consistent in. So, are you? So, protect, unwrap. Let's see, check seams. Yeah, this seam is much better placed than the last one. So, but it's still not good. So I will draw it further here and attract on the back side. This will hopefully put the seam there. So unwrap. J, you meant like, I don't know how people actually do team sports past high school. Shit's exhausting, that's true. No, I don't watch too much sport as well. I think never. Sometimes I was a little bit into mixed martial arts, but this died off over the years. Intro bug, try Blender. I will do the rendering in Blender, so I will send everything over to Blender later, and this is a test render that I did after the last stream. So yeah, I really like the rendering stuff in Blender so far, so I will continue using that. And yeah, this one was done with it. So no, it was in cycles, so it was a proper ray tracing, especially for the subsurface scattering and something like that in GI and stuff. Thanks, Justin. Glad you like it. Alright, let's check the seams. Now the seams are almost perfect. This I can ignore. So let's flatten everything. Does make no sense why there is some like that the mesh was cut there, but it's fine. So a little bit of rotation here so it fits inside the frame. Nightmare just subscribed. Thanks for the subscription. Jay, I watch American football because of fantasy leagues. They're basically like RPGs in World Cup when it comes around. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've never been into those. I'm not quite sure why. But when there's the World Cup for football, for example, it's a huge event in Germany. I'm attending all the public viewings and stuff because all my friends are going, and it's a excuse to drink some beer and eat, and then it's a lot of fun. But other than that, if it's not connected to like a social event, then I'm not that into it. No, it doesn't. There are actually quite a lot of people that are not into football in Germany, but it depends on your social surroundings, I would say. Unflatten, copy UVs, and paste UVs. So let's see if it looks better now. Probably I should switch the alpha. This one doesn't look good at all. Yeah, I just saw your comment. The Brazil game was painful to watch in a good way. Let me see. I have to go to C, Programs, Pixel Logic, and Alphas. Yeah, maybe this one's a little bit better. So I'll make the alpha a little bit smaller. Maybe that was too small. So maybe 10. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I thought that a few goals were replays from the goal prior to that, but then it turned out that it was another goal, and it kept on going, which was that was a fun game, a memorable game. So I will use the same alpha here as well. Not this one, the first one. Jay, it was like American football Super Bowl. My team was the Denver Broncos and they made it to the Super Bowl for the first time in ages for a couple of years back. That's cool. And these are the moments that I think are the most exciting ones in sport. When it's really unexpected and yeah, then it's fun to watch. Jay, first play they fumble and get a touchback, essentially score on themselves. So that must have been hard to watch. Let's see, I want to do this apply to mesh. And it seems like there's a bit of stretching going on here, but I will stick with it. Or no, I haven't unwrapped it yet, so no wonder it's not displaying it properly. So work on clone, and then putting all of that into a polygroup, so I only have 2 again, and then attract the unwrapping here in the back. So unwrap everything and flatten. That looks perfect. All right. Now they should display the alpha map correctly, so we can reapply the UVs here. Paste UVs, and the stretching is gone, so much better. Let's see when I apply that to the mesh. That looks actually quite good. Yeah, it's my best, or it's the best for me. These projection errors, they're a pain to fix, especially in the mouth area when there are projection errors on the lip corners or the eye corners or something like that. That sucks. So one lower resolution, delete higher, so I don't increase my project too much. Let's see how the alpha looks with the render when it's properly anti-aliased. That's cool. Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of stamina pushing through that stuff, so good for you. No, I think that's decent looking. Boop, boop. Hoppala. Seems like Zbrush didn't like that. Let's see if Zbrush crashed or... if it recovers or not. Jay, is there a way to mirror, weld, and retain your V's within Zbrush during cleanup? I noticed the changes weren't mirroring like they should, so I think it's ever so slightly off. I can show you a way. There's a different function in there, different from mirroring. It's called Smart Resim, or Resim in general. It's in the Deformers tab, and this resymmetrizes your mesh. Justin Nixon, do you work on a Mac or PC? I am working on a PC. I do have a laptop, but I want to upgrade at a certain point to a normal PC. But at the moment I'm using a Windows laptop. Alright, it seemed like Zbrush crashed on me. Let's open another one and see if I lost some work or not. So but I like the direction of the cloth at the moment. Should probably add a few more wrinkles and stuff to break up the clean surfaces. But let's see if that works or not. So, restarting it. Hopefully it saved a version as a backup. So, let's see, project. Let's open this one and see in the quick save if it actually saved a version or not. If it's not in the recovered tool, then I have to open one of the recent. Yeah, I have to open the quick save. I really like the autosave functions. Yeah, I lost a bit of work, but it should still be fine. Quickly redo that. So enable control painting and tracked. Right there in the back, and not this way, but with polygroups. So yeah, sorry for the lost work. I have to redo a few things now. But that happens sometimes, especially when it gets more into the technical steps like unwrapping and adding surface noise and stuff like that. Sometimes Zbrush doesn't like that, and then it forces you to do things multiple times sometimes. So back here and paste UVs. I try to get quickly through it now. So Z plugin, work on clone, put that into polygroup, Z plugin enable control painting, attract. I want to have it in the back side. So unwrap this way, and then under Z plugin flatten to reposition the models so the surface noise goes in the right direction. So just like that, you can increase the size here a little to make more use of the space. And I just have to be sure that it doesn't cross the border of the UV tile. So with this in place, unflatten, copy UVs, and paste UVs. And let's change the alpha map. So alpha off, C programs, alphas, and the first fabric. And the size is quite good, so I will stick with it. And the same for the other one as well. So fabric 1, and this one I think was alpha scale was 0.01. No, just 0.1. Yeah, it looks better. No, I think I have to increase it even more, just a tiny bit. Yeah. It's a back and forth. That's fine, I think. This one can be even a bit bigger as well. So let's put it on 0.12. Alright, cool. So now the same thing here for the top part of the shoulders. So low subdivision level, C plugin, work on clone. And enable control painting and attract. So let's do it there and unwrap. So flatten, and this one is not properly rotated at all. So I'm trying to fit it best here on the UV tile. Alright, looks good. Unflatten, copy UVs, switch back to the other tool, and paste UVs. And let's see how the noise looks on this one. So UVs, that looks good. And the alpha map here. Okay, put the seam here in the middle, but I think that's totally fine. Let's see how it looks with the test render. It's barely noticeable here because it's not actual true geometry. It's just like kind of a bump map that is currently applied through the surface menu here. But when I apply that as a displacement map in Blender, it should display more depth. Right now it's a very shallow effect, but we can increase that later. So I will disable the noise for now. Let me just quickly check here on the export options and displacement if there's a way to bake down the displacement there. I want to bake the alpha map into the displacement without applying it, but maybe it makes more sense for me to mix the displacement shaders in Blender. So I'm only sculpting the details for the folds and stuff like that here in Blender and Zbrush, and then I will put the tileable texture over it in Blender. Iki, hey, I saw your anatomy stream and it inspired me to install Zbrush. I'm waiting for my Wacom Bamboo to arrive to start struggling with that UI. Well, thank you for your work. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. And yeah, I wish you a lot of fun with Zbrush. It takes a little bit of struggle, I would say, to get used to it, but it doesn't take too much, and now I'm in love with the UI. I mean, a lot of people that don't like ZBrush are wondering how that's even possible, but yeah, I really like it actually. It's different than normal stuff, but it has a lot of advantages for me. So, and if you want to get familiar with the functionality of ZBrush and to get an introduction, you can check out Michael Pavlovich on YouTube. I will Pavlovich. He is a really cool guy, and he's making tutorials for every function in ZBrush. So he has a lot of, not Micheli, but Michael, so A-E-L. And another one, there are a few getting started in ZBrush tutorials out there, but Michael Pavlovich is a really good one. So Tionanima, sorry. Would going to uni for transport design be a good choice for an aspiring concept artist? It depends on the program of the course. I'm not familiar with transport design, but if it's similar to industrial design, then maybe. But maybe look at a few online schools as well, like Brainstorm or courses. I think Marc Brunet has some as well on qbrush.com. And there are other schools out there for concept art. Maybe check out Schoolism. Schoolism has a lot of great classes as well. So you don't have to go to university to study concept art design. Hey Richard, thanks for being here. Richard the Spider. Jay, Iki, big tip, the top right panels are the... No. Richard. Thanks for everybody that is joining now, or that joined the stream here. So, alright, what did I want to do? I wanted to see if I can add more details. So, let's try it with this piece here. And what I'm gonna do is I will only make the front side visible because I want to use the cloth brushes. And cloth pinch trails, so let's see. That looks gorgeous. Alright, didn't work at all. Okay, it seems like... Oh, mesh density is higher than expected. Okay, I have to go lower in subdivision levels to make that possible. Alright, I'm just experimenting here a little bit to see how the brushes behave. Just want to break up the edges here a little. Give it more of a cloth-like feeling. Well, that wasn't that good here. Tionanima, I'm taking those schools on my own, but it would be nice to have an accredited degree to work abroad in the future. I think this is the biggest factor why people choose to study at a university, because of the official side of visas, visa applications. So maybe it's worth doing that. Oh, this is a cool brush. Cloth fold. Oh, it's an awesome brush. Oh man, gonna have a lot of fun with these functionalities here in Zbrush. It's just so fast. Awesome. Let's do the same for this one here. So just a few more details. Justin, I'm going to Full Sail University Online and got six classes left to get my A's in game art. So you're close to graduating, it seems like. Maybe there are even universities out there that are like online universities that give you a proper degree as well. So maybe that's one of those schools. Oh man, these brushes are awesome. That would have taken me so long in the past to get these details going. Justin, they give a copy of Zbrush and 17-inch MacBook Pro. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, having proper hardware for your own is quite tricky, especially when you start out. But when you're at a university and they provide you with everything that you need to have, then that's a huge advantage as well. Not so much for 2D and concept art, because you can basically do everything on paper. But when it comes to VFX and animation, character stuff, digital art, then it's definitely beneficial. Oh man, these brushes. Nima, well, nice. I get a year left at college before going to uni to take advantage of online uni. Yeah. What I find cool at the moment is that, which is sometimes a bit difficult as well, is that there are so many opportunities to put together your own program, like university or online classes, workshops, YouTube tutorials and stuff like that, that you have all the freedom, but this is putting a lot of responsibility on your side as well, because you have to design your specific course structure, so to say. Yeah, all the best with your studies. Trying to get a few more details here, just to break up the clean shapes just a little bit. I don't want to lose the silhouettes. Just want to add a few more, just another layer of details. Maybe I'm overdoing it a little bit, but I really enjoy the cloth brushes at the moment, so just want to use them more. Cool. Really cool. I love those brushes. Justin, I have years in water-based clay sculpture and years in drawing. I'm a pencil and paper guy. This is really cool. This should give you a really solid foundation when you want to dive into digital art. Because it's, digital is just an imitation of the traditional stuff, and it has a lot of benefits, obviously, but really good traditional artists have a easier time switching to digital than I would say the other way around. Cool. Really cool stuff with these. With the folds and stuff, so awesome. Let's insert another edge loop here in the top so I can reconstruct the subdivision levels again. Hopefully it lets me do that. Nope. So freeze subdivision levels, then I can do that, unfreeze it, so it projects everything back to the rest of the mesh. And then I can go to reconstruct subdivision levels one more time. And this should give me the resolution that I should have for the cloth brushes to work. Boy, oh boy. such a peaceful process now to do cloth. It used to be way more struggling for me. Crazy. Sorry that I'm talking so little. I'm a bit mesmerized by how well these brushes work and stuff. So I'm drooling all over it right now. I will be over it soon. Don't worry. Isn't it crazy how easy it is? Bit of smoothing sometimes, but other than that. Itanet, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, it depends on how much effort I put into it, I think. So I have to step up my game quite a lot to catch up to other artists. I always feel like there's still so much to learn that I haven't even started yet. Someone just subscribed. Thanks a lot for the sub. But I appreciate your comment. Fimo Zira is now following. Thanks for the follow. Alright. I think it's time for this one to be unwrapped as well. So, low subdivision, Decimation Master, where is it? Not Decimation Master, UV Master. Work on clone, make that into a polygroup, different color, and let's paint some maps. So attract, I want to have it unwrapped here. Okie dokie, should I bother training stroke quality for 2D when I only want to do 2D or 3D art? Let me read that again. Should I bother training stroke? It will help you. I mean, especially when it comes to like clean shapes and fine lines when you're sculpting. The pressure and pressure sensitivity control is, when you get that down, it's really helpful, and it will speed up your workflow as well. So if you can manage to practice that with 2D, then I would say that's worth it. Okie dokie. I mean, what it comes down to is that you will be, certain strokes that you want to make, you will hit them way quicker, like with the first stroke or maybe the second stroke, instead of doing one stroke that is unclean and then spending time fixing the mistakes on that stroke. But if you get it down with one, then you will be much faster, and it frees up your brain, I would say, to focus on other things instead of focusing on getting clean shapes, because you will get it for free, so to say, when you have control over your pressure sensitivity. So I would say investing a little bit of time or practice on that, or focusing on getting clean lines while you practice is a good idea. And a good practice for that is live drawing. So fast iterative live drawing, like 1 minute sketches or 2 minute sketches, is a really good way to loosen up your wrist and shoulders to draw. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it's not useless. I filled pages with just drawing straight lines and connecting dots with one line. It's like a really basic drawing exercise, and ellipses and stuff like that. I trained that or practiced that quite a lot. I should go back to it again just to train my muscle memory more, but these exercises are really useful, I think. So this is in place. Let's hit create. So let's see what we get from that. So flatten UVs. Nope, that sucks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mask out the arms and make them into separate polygroups. So one here and one more here. And this way it should give me better islands. So the attract is still on, which is perfect, so unwrap everything. And just for everyone that is currently in the stream, I will do some traditional or drawing streams in the future. So probably in the next few weeks, I will do like study streams where we'll only stream on Twitch, but I will focus more on getting the fundamentals down, like perspective and anatomy and color and stuff like that. And I will spend a lot of time on this. So in order to get me going and keep me focused, I will stream it. And then we can talk more 2D when that comes. Okie dokie, question for everyone reading this. Vertex Director is not following. Thanks for the follow. Justin, I hate that I have to go, but I have a 6-month son that I have get down to sleep. I absolutely love your art. Thanks, I appreciate it. And congrats on your son. So yeah, the priorities are self-evident. So yeah, take care and hopefully see you next time. Next stream will be on Wednesday, same time. So yeah, good night for your son. So let's see. That looks better. Again. Oh, excuse me. So where do I have to? No, I still have to paint some more. So attract. Yeah, I think it didn't. recognize these ones here too much. So I will try to thicken the line here. Hopefully this will get it. Unrip. Alright, flatten. Still didn't do it, so same thing probably. I have to create new polygroups. One here, and for the inside the same. So, and I shouldn't have, or I don't need the control painting anymore because now everything is done by the polygroups. So, flatten, and now everything is working correctly. And I just want to make sure that everything is aligned, that it has the same orientation going. And this way I will hopefully get a nice result with the surface noise. Here, let's put it up here. This one. It's kind of a Tetris approach kind of game here. This is a bit tricky because I want to only get one island. Let's see if I got everything. Nope. All right, cool. And yeah, should have masked out the other one. So, and let's put it somewhere here. There are a few missing islands here, but I think that's still okay. I hope they're not visible. Okie dokie, just realized that no one sees the emotes I'm using because everyone chats in YouTube livestream. Yeah, that's too bad. I think I will, in the future, switch just to Twitch. It seems like YouTube doesn't really like the live streams too much. Like, before I started live streaming, my statistics were fairly okay, and as soon as I started live streaming they dropped quite a lot. So a lot less viewers, a lot less subscribers, a lot less revenue. Everything just dropped. So I'm not quite sure if it's that beneficial for my channel to stream on YouTube as well. But I thought most of my audience is on YouTube, so it makes sense. But yeah, I have to reconsider that, which is unfortunate. I wish YouTube would support streamers more, but they definitely don't. So, copy UVs and paste UVs. So I will switch to Twitch, I think, in the next 3 weeks completely. That's when I will start with my 2D bootcamp, I would say, that I set out for myself. And for that I will make the transition. And then I will focus more on making proper YouTube videos again. I kind of missed that. Matt Spacker. Matt Spacker is now following. Thanks for the follow. Sorry for pronouncing your name that way. Alright. Let's see. Okie dokie, yeah, I think except for stability, YouTube streams are less attractive since you basically don't find streams on YouTube really. Yeah, that's true. You have to have like a really solid subscriber base that is really into your stuff for that to work, like PewDiePie or Dr. Disrespect or these big streamers. But it's a different platform. Twitch is for streaming, YouTube is for videos. I think the medium is the determining factor, and there are different platforms. So, oh dear, hey man, that's me following. Oh, that's cool, thanks. Always enjoy your stream, nice and chill and good content. That's awesome to hear. Thanks for the comment. All right. I think it's time to fix the blue arrow on the top of his head. And then I think I will bring the character in a slightly different pose and give him an asymmetric expression. And then it's about time to put everything in Blender again and see if I can get proper renders out of it. So let's color pick the color for the arrow, and I will use the rectangular masking here. Let's turn perspective off. Maybe a few more subdivisions up, so it's a bit softer. I'm just blurring it back and forth just to see if I get a cleaner edge. And let's use the spray option with the color set a bit lower. Let's see if I can that blends quite well, it seems. Let's see how it looks when I clean the mask. At least it's an abnormal termination, so this way it saves a recovered state. I don't know what's going on today. It's crashing on me. So let's open this one up. Let's actually see if I'm able to remove the mask here. Yeah, that worked. Whew. So no crash this time. Sometimes there are strange crashes going, but as long as it's a fatal error where you get the message and it saves your current state, everything's fine. If it just disappears, then that's when it sucks. Alright, let's switch to the other skin shade again. That's better. Cool. So, what's next? Huh? What is that? Just polypaint information. Yeah, the colors for the... Or do I? I was thinking if I apply the colors directly in Blender just through the shader, then maybe it makes sense to still paint a diffuse map to get some variation going. So I think I will do that. I mean, we have the UVs already in place, so why not take advantage of those? So red for the top part here. Let's paint it down here. There's some strange things going on. Not quite sure what they are. It seems like it's a material preview issue. So I'm currently painting the material as well as the RGB, the color, and this just got rid of the artifacts. But it also means that I can't switch the material without it doesn't switch anymore as long as I display the colors on that model. So I have to stick with it. But I like the skin shade anyways. Let's go to color and not fill layer. Color, fill object. And we'll give some variation here. You can see there are little spots. It's barely noticeable, but I hope that it will give me a bit of texture, a bit more of an organic look on the cloth once it's done, and once the alpha map is applied on that. What I can also do is to darken some of the edges. Maybe get a different alpha, something like that here. So that there is a bit of wear and tear going. Yeah, I think that's fine. And now to the yellow one. Not into green. The yellow here is really hard to get. Let's see if I can bring up the reference image again, just so I can check with the colors. So this is more into the greens. Let's push that back to the yellow. And it's brighter as well. something like that. Maybe, is it still? I wish they would have a proper color picker here. It somehow feels dirty, not quite sure why. It's too saturated. Let's bring back the reference. Maybe the too saturated colors don't work with the more realistic kind of style. Somehow it's too intense for the rest of the character. So but the colors here on the red part, I think I will dial them more towards the orange. So let's see if more like this. It's a slight change, but it's not that crimson red anymore. And I think it's closer to the reference as well. And now just a little bit less green for the cape. So brush, color, fill object, and let's see if I can bring it to another level. Yeah, I think this is nicer. Let's switch that to the other color fill object as well. It's quite bright, but hopefully it fits the character. So, and I want to have some variation here as well. So I'm going over it slightly with the spray brush. This gives me some variation in the values. My eyes are a bit dry today, so sorry if I'm looking kind of angry, or not angry, but like focused and I don't know. Maybe angry. But it's just because my eyes are pretty dry. Not quite sure what the reason for that is. And the same here for the shirt. Bit of stuff going on. Thanks, okie dokie. I had comments saying why are you looking so angry. So there are some moments where I do look kind of angry, but it's just my concentrated face. So. Bit of desaturated areas here and there. think even more desaturated maybe. For the shoulders probably. So it has a used kind of look to it. That he's wearing it all the time. Hey Stevens! Thanks for being here. How are you, sir? Sir? Is it appropriate? Maybe I will drag out some alpha scene. Let me see if... Nope, that looks like shit. So maybe this one. Ah, that's cool. ZBrushing together. What are you working on at the moment? If I might ask. Let's see if that looks kind of good or not. It has an interesting pattern to it, but maybe it doesn't fit the design. Let's see when I do the noise on it. Some hard surface sketch. Oh, that's cool. So a lot of Dynamesh extracting, polishing, and cleaning stuff up. I think that's fine here already. I recently saw the podcasts of Rafal Grassetti and Vitaly Bulgarov. I don't know if you know him, Vitaly. He is awesome hard surface modeler. And it was a really inspiring talk to listen to that guy. He is all on perfection, not perfection, but on what's the name? Efficiency. So really awesome talk with him. So Rafal Grassetti and Vitaly Bulgarov. It's worth listening to, I would say. So what I'm doing here right now is I'm just adding a few desaturated areas. Let's check the... since I painted on the material, I can't display the flat colors anymore. Stevens, it seems he's got some very accurate background regarding robotics. Yes, he definitely does. But listening to the podcast, it seems like he... it wasn't his background, but he worked as a senior modeler on the Blizzard cinematic team, and then he switched to the industrial and product design kind of area. So he got experience with that, with robotic surgery robotics and military robotics and stuff like that. And then he came back to movies and implemented all the real-life constraints and design philosophies into cool designs. So he has quite the history, which is kind of cool to see. Also seen him using an obscure 3D software, Moi3D. Yeah, it's similar to Fusion 360 or like a CAD program. So it's supposed to be very intuitive and quick and easy, like snappy. It's supposed to feel like very responsive. And it might even be free if I'm not mistaken, but I could be completely wrong on this one. And I've seen more and more people actually using it as well. And I heard that more and more concept artists and stuff like that use it. So I'm interested in it. I wanted to check it out. But I'm not that into hard surface modeling yet. So maybe I will do it sometime in the future. But Moi3D is supposed to be really good. Do I even paint something at the moment? Why is it not painting anything? I was on the wrong subtool. Cool. Would be interesting what you think of it. So, hope you have a good listen to this one. And take a look at the background of Vitali. He has like swords and armors, like real life props in his apartment or house, which is really cool as well. Alright, enough of that. Let's see if I can put some stitches on there. Stitch basic, and I want to paint it with the dark brown. Maybe not so much, not so dark, a bit brighter. Yeah, this is better. And let's go to alpha, modify, and radial fade a bit higher. This way I don't have artifacts going on the outside of the stroke. I think I will change the color to a brighter one so that the contrast isn't too high. No, that stroke I messed up. No, so close to the edge. Alright. I think that's okay. So now to the neck area here. How far can I get? Perfect. Let's see if it stretched. Nope. And I know that I will be doing an overpaint in the end. So yeah, I can still fix a few things here and there if they're not clean. But I still try my best to make clean marks as best as possible. And now here to the bottom, stitch basics. Mauricio, hey Finn, is there any way you could rewatch your lives because I ended up losing most of it? They're available through my Patreon account. So if you're interested in those, you can check out the links in the description. And there are now over, I think I'm close to 30 streams. And you can find every one of those there. And you can also join the Discord channel there, where we are sharing our work in progress stuff. And there are already a few people on there, which is kind of cool. What's going on here? That was a strange behavior. Cool. Yeah, it would be cool for more people to join the Discord. Currently I was quite occupied with work, but now I have a bit more time to post there as well and to do personal projects more. So more behind the scenes stuff going on soon, hopefully. And more like studies that are not related to any content, but just for fun, like skull studies and drawing studies and stuff like that. Wow. Alright, I think I will leave it here in the back because I will not show it in the render, and instead move on to the next ones here. Let's see if it improves the look here. Before and after. Not quite sure. Maybe I will put it on a... No, I won't put it on a layer. Yeah, I think I will keep it. Maybe I will go over the color a little bit more, add a few more details here and there. Makes it more interesting to look at. I don't want to overdo it because then it becomes overloaded and distracting. But I think this is still decent enough. And the same for the inner one. So, yeah, resolution is all right. What if I sculpt them here? Hey Stupto, glad you made it. I'm slowed. Don't worry. I mean, because of the time zones, it's hard to catch it, I would say. Not quite sure what time it is at your place right now, but I heard a few people staying up until like 2 a.m. or something like that. So it must be starting really late already. So glad you made it anyways. Alright, this is really sloppy here. I don't know. No, not quite sure why the brush behaves that strange. Probably because there isn't enough resolution there. But I will not see it anyways. So, alright. I think next thing is to give the characters some expression. So I will first of all save it so I don't lose anything. Zbrush projects, and which is it? I think it's head 34. Yep. Alright. Z plugin. Let's go to Transpose Master. I want to give him a pose. So Deepta, today is Sunday, but your stream will go to Wednesday. Not quite sure what you mean with that, but your stream will go to Wednesday. I mean, I'm planning to stay a bit longer today, and the next stream will be on Wednesday, but I won't stream all the time through Wednesday. So, hey Dad, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Hope you have a nice, or had a nice weekend. So, I'm just wrapping this model up, hopefully, and currently posing the character. You could use the layer option with Transpose Master. That is cool. Does it work if I do it now, if I enable it now, or should I have enabled it before sending it into a T-pose mesh? Would be cool too, because this is actually really useful. That's cool, Dad. Stevens, so it would be safe. Yeah, let's year before. Okay, so let's delete this one and do it again. So C plugin, layer, T-pose. So thanks for the tip. This is something that I did by hand before. So another quick tip that saves some time. So I think I will blur it downwards a little bit more. And for posing, I really like using the transpose line because of the angle that I can set it at. So deep 2. These eyes will not open. Nope, they won't. And they don't have to for the rendering. I wanted to have a still render anyways. So this is totally fine for me. Just testing out a few things, see what feels right, what doesn't. I just want to have a slight asymmetry going. No, it's just a very slight expression here. It looks like Sleeping Man. Yep. Here I want him to have like a peaceful expression. So I hope this will convey that. Yeah. I will add a few asymmetrical parts here as well. Just to break up the perfect symmetry that I had before. I found that it made a huge difference for the believability. Stevens, I also started to use the Z-sphere rig option with Transpose Master. It's useful for complex characters to pose. It's quite quick and dirty rig, but it does the job. Yeah, I heard of it and I saw a few things for that before, but I never used it. I might have to check into this one as well. Especially for fast prototyping, might be really useful, but for me it was always masking and transposing. That can be speeded up. So, speed it up? Not quite sure. Can be made faster. Cool. Yeah, what I sometimes did was to put them into Maya and used M-Gear when I wanted to have more iterations of the pose. in a final control, but it took like a few hours to set that up. Maybe even more, like half a day or a day. So it's not that viable for quick iterations. But if the Z-sphere rig does a similar job, then I think I should take a look at it and implement it into my workflow. Alright, let's see how it looks when I bring it back into the colored model. Interesting. So with the layer applied, it did some extra steps while it went through all the subtools. Alright. Cool. I think this will be the final model. Let's give it a quick render. Yeah, the rendering doesn't look that convincing here. So let's actually send everything over to Blender next. Nope, I wanted to change the fibers here. So yeah, I think this should have applied. I think this is the layer that was added. I didn't add any prior to that. So it seemed to work really well. Thanks for the tip. Alright, now that everything is here in place, I will go to I think I'm gonna use the FBX exporter for the meshes. So let's go to the subtool master, put everything on low res visible. But for the head I will go to the third one. And this way I can use the FBX exporter to export the entire mesh. Characters, head 34, version 3. Let's see how it transfers to Blender. I haven't used the Go Blender, Go B yet. I should probably check it out, but didn't have any time yet. Alright, it's exported. Let's open up Blender. So head 34. And this is the current scene setup here. And I think I should delete everything so it's not cluttering up my outliner and stuff like that. So import FBX projects characters head 34, and this will take a few seconds, I guess, because it's quite a heavy mesh, like a dense mesh with lots of polygons. Let's see how long that takes. And after that it's time to bake all the maps in Zbrush and create the shaders for the different objects. So this is more of a technical step now. So, or it will crash. Yeah, that could happen as well. So let's see. There it is. It survived. Akir, hey, thanks for being here. I think I will go a bit longer today. So I think you're still on time. Let's see. Let's go to camera view. That's a good view here. Want to have a nice kind of bust torso shot, maybe something like this. So that the head is not too cramped against the edge. But I don't want to show the ends of the arms there. Or maybe I will fix it in the overpaint, maybe something like that. But for test renderings, I think I will use this view so I can see the surface details better. Calconics, Arnold just doesn't shot my mesh in the render view. Doesn't show my mesh in the render view. Sometimes you have to go to, I think, render settings. There should be an Arnold tab in the somewhere where you can update the whole scene and refresh the whole scene with it. So it happens sometimes when you hide and unhide meshes while you're rendering, and then you can reset the caches and stuff that Arnold is doing in the background, and maybe this will fix it. But I had it a few times as well, which was quite annoying. Akio, did you change his face at all? I did slight changes. I put some asymmetry in it, so I changed a few proportions there just to break up the clean symmetry. And I changed the expression to a slight smile, so it's a bit more peaceful. And other than that, I didn't change a lot. I put more work on the cloth, so which I will go back now. So you can see that I added a few stitches and more details on the cloth. And this, I think, added more to the character. Stevens, if you don't want to bake, you can use a vertex color node in the shading panel to see your polypaint in Blender. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but I guess then I would have to export it in the resolution that I'm using right now, if I'm not mistaken. Because currently I have the lowest subdivision level. So, yeah. Calconics I have just to update my PC hardware from 2013 to 16. I think it might be a good time right now with the new NVIDIA 3 series, so Stevens, yeah, it's a downside if you want to keep the same amount of details for sure. That's what I thought. And I like to practice the displacement workflow from time to time. I think there are still things that I can make shortcuts, but yeah, it's a strange kind of mix, like only working on the front side of the mesh and not worrying so much for the back side here, as you can see, but still going through the proper stages for rendering. Yeah, doesn't make too much sense, but yeah, it's all for learning. So the plugin, let's go to multimap exporter, displacement, texture. I think we should rename the things first. So this is the shirt, shoulder, neck, outer, neck outer, and rename neck inner. Arctic Fox, hey, thanks for being here. So, and to get all the maps exported properly, I will hide everything that doesn't have any polypaint information in there, and I think I have to do the shirts first, because I will reset the subdivision level to 1, and then it's time for the creation. So V03, and there we go. This will take a few seconds. All right. How is everybody doing? I have a moment. Oh, everything's baked already, so don't worry. Ignore the question. And let's export it here. Create all maps. Wait. That was too fast. So don't have to do the shirt anymore, but the rest of those. So the shoulder piece and the neck inner, I think. So hopefully it displays properly in Blender, and that the displacement maps work as well. This is a more relaxing kind of step in the process, I find. It's just following a certain workflow, and as soon as I got used to it, it became something that I didn't have to think too much about, which is kind of relaxing sometimes. So, and the last one here, without the subtools, but with a sub D level on level 3. So, create all maps. Let's see how long this one takes. Oh, a black head. Let's see. Let's open up the folder with all the maps and take a look at them. So the head didn't export the polypaint information, which is kind of strange. So maybe it was because of the layer. Let's bake the layer down now. So let's bake it down now, and this should fix it. So create all maps again, and I will delete the ones for the head. I guess the displacement map was fine, but this is a fast process anyways. Yeah, there it showed the proper poly paint. So this one. Renee, hi Finn, be careful with extra water in the body. You mean... what? What do you mean with that? I mean, there is a thing that, like, that you can drink too much water, but I'm far from that one. Yashi, hello Finn, hey to you as well. How are you? Arctic Fox, why do you use displacement not normal map? I use displacement because the shader looks better then. When there's true geometry, you will get proper shadows even in the small details, and with the normal maps it doesn't cast any shadows on the mesh itself, so it only has an object shadow. For example, if I have a like a sphere in my displacement map here, and the bottom side would be shaded in a normal map, but the surrounding area underneath it wouldn't get a shadow casted on it, so it would appear brighter as it would if it was displacement map, if it was done through displacement. So especially with skin pores, I think it makes a huge difference, and the specular is much more precise as well. So, all right. Thanks, Yoshi. Don't drink and sculpt, children. Yeah, that's true. Cheers on that one. And by the way, it's just water. Not anything else, if you wondered. So let's get out of that and set up the shaders. So excited about that. I will assign the skin shader to this one. Whoop, no, wrong one. Skin, there we go. And I just have to replace the maps accordingly. So head, placement map in this one. And hey, it's loading. Drunken Sculpt. That would be a nice live stream, maybe for, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers special or something like that. Hopefully far in the future, so I don't have to do that anytime soon. But I saw Jazza, the art YouTuber that used to be called Draw with Jazza. He's doing these drunk streams sometimes on special occasions, and they're quite funny. So maybe it might be worth a try. Yashvi, you know about Himba tribe? No, I don't. Let me take a quick Google search. No, don't know them. So the head is set up. Let's assign the hair shader to those eyebrows, and eyebrows to this one here as well. What's your poison, Finn? What do you mean by poison? Do you mean something that I fall for, that I know isn't good for me? Or there are so many aspects of how I could interpret that question. So this one here is, let's create a new one. I just saw a video today of an African woman with blue eyes that was abandoned by her husband because of the blue eyes, but stupid story. I don't know what happened there, but man, that woman was crazy beautiful. Jay, like drink of choice, drug of choice. Drink of choice, I would say I really do like gin fizz, gin basil smash, gin tonic. Yeah, I like gin, but I don't drink too much, like once a month maybe, the most of the, yeah. I think this year I drank maybe 5 times, so I don't do it that often. Ikea, I've never had gin. What does it taste like? I'm a whiskey girl. It's kind of bitter, but in a good way, I think. But it's hard to describe. I don't know. And I don't drink too much, so I can't compare it to whiskey or something like that. But I heard that a lot of people are into whiskey quite a lot, so... Yep. My brother is into whiskey. Alright. Yeah, I wanted to create a new material called neck outer. This way I don't lose the how do you say it? I stay organized. Jay, I gotcha, I don't either. I think I've drank once this whole year. If I do, it's whiskey, ginger, or a Guinness. I just smoke weed though. I see. Arctic Fox, is the beard X generated? No, it's done with fiber mesh in Zbrush. And I exported that into, or I converted that into true geometry, so it's actually just polygon tubes. Okie dokie, yeah, I can't drink alone either. Yeah, especially during Corona. There weren't many occasions where people could get together. So that's the right kind of influence here on that stream. So cheers to you. Well, let's check this one out. So I have to have a displacement shader and an image put into this one. So still have to see how Blender is handling those things. So search displacement. Where did that one went? Okay, it vanished into nothing. Don't know. So search displacement. Why is it like freaking out on me? Okay, maybe I have to use my mouse and just apply it there. Strange. And the texture, just an image texture, and there goes the color into the height. We went from don't drink and sculpt to what's your favorite alcoholic drink, and cheers to people drinking. But it's good when people enjoy the stream, so I think. I assume we are all adults here and we know what we do, so. Mid-level to 0, and then open characters, and this is the neck outer displacement, and let's create a image texture for the why doesn't it let me select it? There we go, to the best color. Whew, excuse me, I was about to sneeze. Yeah, these expectations, they put a lot of pressure on us. Cheers to you all. So, version 3, neck outer texture map. Let's do a material preview on this one. Let's see if everything gets loaded properly. Or I crashed Blender, that could be the case as well. So let's see if it works or not. Whew, it did. Alright, cool. So next thing here, new material, calling it neck inner, and the same thing here. So displacement and image texture. I think there are plugins here that set things up for you, but in order to learn that software, I think it's good if I do that by hand. So neck inner displacement map, and it takes a bit to load, and then an image texture for the base color. So characters, head 34, 3, neck inner texture map. There we go. And Yashi Finn would like to give some tips on character design. I'm struggling a lot on it. You can check out the links in the description to our Patreon page, to my Patreon page, because we have a Discord channel, and feel free to join that Discord channel and share your stuff there, and then we can give feedback. There are other people on the Discord channels as well that can give feedback. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check out the links in the description. So this one here, new one, material, it's shoulder. It's a shoulder piece, and the same thing here, vector displacement map, displacement into displacement, and image texture for the height, mid-level to 0, and open it up in characters for shoulder displacement map. This takes a while. Serious face. And a texture for the polypaint. So color and base color, open, characters 34, and shoulders texture map. Let's see, that loaded perfectly. And the last material. So this is the shirt. Texture, image texture, vector displacement map, color into height, mid-level to 0, displacement, and characters 34, shirt displacement map. Let me save that here, by the way, so I don't lose anything. Save as. Calconics. Ooh. Why ooh? now I get stretching spots on my displacement map. That's too bad. Yeah, maybe you have to unwrap it again. Yeah, that sucks. You have to, when there are like projection errors or baking errors, you need to go back so many steps, which is really annoying. Yashlin, generally nobody sees my serious face. People always see me as happy and funny girl. So it's kind of like funny how you make that face. Glad I got the right timing for that one. I thought I might have been too cringy, but glad it cheered you up. So now open for the texture map. So shirt texture map, and this should be it for the shaders here. For the maps, we'll play around with the roughness and with the sheen and all of that. But what I want to try out as well is the is a mix node for the displacement maps. So let's open up another image texture, and this time I want to have the alpha map of the fiber pattern. So no, That's the kind. Z alphas and fabric 1. And I haven't done it before, but I will see if I can mix those two. Mix shader, not mix shader. I want to combine those two. Maybe merge. No. Command displacement. Just do a quick search on Google to find that. Multiple displacement maps. They're quite old. Mm, 2.8. Let's see. I think you can mix RGB them with multiply. Let's see. Mix RGB. There seems to be a bug going on here. Whenever I create a node, then it freaks out, and it's probably because of the tablet driver, but not quite sure. Alright, I will try to do that here. So color and color 1 and color 2. And let's do a multiply on that one. So multiply. Let's see how that looks. So for that I will probably have to switch to the rendered view. Hopefully it will display it. Yeah, I should connect it first, and I should add a, how do you say it? A subdivision modifier on the mesh as well. So let's see. Material preview. So color into height, and let's go here, add a subdivision surface. Thanks for the reminders, guys. So vendor, let's do 2, not too much. Just want to see here if it displaces it properly. So this is in there. This should be set here as well. Let's check here if the displacement is looking good. Fonterion, go. Are you doing it for someone or for yourself? I'm doing it for myself. I thought it's a fun project. And it started out as a random head sculpt in the beginning, but someone in the chat pointed out that he kind of looks like Aang from the last Airbender, and then I went along with it and changed the proportions and stuff like that because of another suggestion. And yeah, so it's just for fun and for practice and learning Blender a little bit more. So let's see if it displaces it. Hopefully the stream will stay stable. Rendering always takes quite a lot of time. Oh, that's correct. So solid. True. I was sure that I was missing something, so this is the one. The displacement setting. Good that we're doing that together here. So let's go to where was it again? Material displacement, not bump only, but displacement and bump. So yeah, it's the same in Arnold as well. So I know the struggle of finding every checkbox that you have to check in order to make it work. It's a pain in the ass in the beginning to find all of those, and why is it not working? But it seems to work now. So let's actually do a render and see how fast it will render. I think the interactive viewport right now is a bit too much. And I hope that the noise of the fan of my laptop isn't getting picked up by the microphone. If so, sorry for the noise. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so there's no displacement on the face yet. Yeah, it's always fun to see how it turns out. So it seems like didn't work on the cloth. So I have to check that again. Okay, abort. Maybe I should set everything up first with the normal ones. Yeah, I know that you would like to listen more to the music, but there might be people that get annoyed by it. But just for you, I can increase the music. I think that's too loud. But I can send you the album and the artist, and you can listen to the music yourself if you want to. Awesome. Thanks for the reinforcement, Johanna. I knew that the music was great. Try to change the factor to 0.5. And let me switch that here. I think the problem at the moment is that I'm using too many large, like 8K maps, so it takes a bit longer. Alright, I try to find a song that is fitting the theme here. A bit more epic. It makes working on fantasy characters much more enjoyable. You can't really hear it. Okay. This should be better. Alright. Let me put like the subdivision surfaces on all of the characters here and make sure that everything is on displacement and bump. So displacement and bump, subdivision surface on, yeah, let's put it on 2. I don't need that many subdivision levels on the cloth, I think. So I don't want to overload the scene with too many polygons. So this is set correctly, but it needs no, that's fine. The shoulder piece needs a subdivision surface. Let's put it on 2 as well. And displacement and bump. Same with the shirt. Displacement and bump, subdivision surfaces enabled. This one is enabled here as well. So I think I will reduce the samples first here so it's rendering quicker. Alright, 3 hours into the stream already. Let's see how far I can keep my composure today before I get too tired. It's 9 PM here at the moment and I had not that much sleep today, so but I'm still going strong, hopefully for another hour maybe. That music is going strong as well. Alright, let's see. It seems like the displacement map on the face is not working. It's not working on the cloth. It's not working anywhere. Alright, I have to check what's the reason for that. On the face it might work. Oh, hey Justin, thanks for being here again. That's awesome. I hope you can get some rest as well. So there's a little bit going on in the face, but on the rest of the cloth it didn't really do a lot. So not quite sure what the reason for that is. Here it's displacement and bump. Should have had the shoulder assigned as well. I'm telling you, adaptive subdivision will help. Where can I enable that? Not quite sure where it is. Normal object space. If you could show me the way, that would be great. I wrote it above. Ah, sorry. Another cool tip, if you don't mind, in the rendering settings you can change the feature set to experimental. It will enable adaptive sub D in your modifier. As you probably know, it will subdivide things closest to the camera, not so much things that aren't visible, improving the performance quite a bit. Alright, let's change that. So, might enable adaptive sampling for that as well. And let's see, adaptive subdivision. Oh, that's cool. Alright, adaptive subdivision here, here, and here. I think for the face I will leave it. And maybe I put it to displacement map only. Maybe, let me see. I think I have to change the color spaces on all of them to raw. Maybe this is messing up my displacement maps as well. It seems like it has to convert those again. No. Yeah, for the displacement maps that I rendered out in Zbrush, it has like RGB channels. It doesn't have a gray. No, it's gray. It's gray. But yeah, I think raw should be okay. No, they're not vector displacement maps. But sometimes we used to bake out the displacement maps in ZBrush with only one channel, and then it was red, for example, and this is why I got it confused with colored image. But it has all three channels right now. And I used vector displacements a lot, but they are quite the pain to set up. So yeah, I like it when I can just use normal displacement maps. It's easier, more fun. So let's test it again. I think changing the color space probably solved the issue. Hopefully. I'm curious how fast it will be with the adaptive displacement. Adaptive subdivision. The music stopped. It seems like my computer is taking up everything that it can to render it. So if the stream is a bit unstable at the moment, sorry for that. Hopefully it isn't lagging or anything. But yeah, rendering just eats up everything of your computer. Jay, so I'm doing that smart reset. It's running right now. What exactly does it do? Just reset my center point, or it favors and duplicates one side? What you can do is you can mask one side. So if you have like, how can I describe it the best? if you have, for example, sculpted something on one side of the face but you want it to have on the other side, you can mask the stuff that you want to project and then hit resim and it applies it to the other side. If you don't mask anything, then it will calculate the average of both sides. So I would go to the subdivision that you want, and if you just want to reset the symmetry, just hit resim. And smart resim or resim, maybe do both. The mirroring of just aspects of your model, I think, only works with smart sim. Just try it out, I would say. So, the Babu, what's the reason for modeling with the eyes closed? I feel like they don't do it for games, but for movies they do. For this sculpt, there wasn't any particular reason. I just wanted to have a still, what would I say to that? Still image in the end. It wasn't for production or anything. So normally I like to sculpt them open as well, but it depends on the rigging system that is set for the production. So depending on the scripts or the riggers, the auto rigs or the riggers, they will have different preferences how they want the model to be posed, with eyes open or eyes closed. Jay, I think it's... What? Stream is over? Slay Shadow. Is it still working? On my side, the stream seems to be still running. So, would be nice if anyone can give me feedback if it shut down or not. Stream's working fine. Whew. Wow. I was... I got a flashback from the earlier streams where YouTube kicked me out. So glad it's working. Hey 29, thanks for being here. Alexander, thanks. I see. Thanks, Slay Shadow. Alright, so that worked really good. So the adaptive sampling seems to work nicely. Cool, thanks for the tip. So 29, hello, just have you in the background while I draw. That's awesome. Klopf Klopf is now following. Thanks for the follow. Cool name. Alright, let's get back to the model. I think I will lower the volume again of the music. And on my headphones probably as well. Alright. This doesn't look too bad. Cool. I'm just thinking of what to do next. This placement seems to work perfectly. There's an error here. I think I should have exported a higher resolution, but it's fine. Akil is now following. Thanks Akil for following on Twitch as well. Supreme Sculpts. Hey, how are you? Thanks, man. Just checking out the displacements. And yeah, this didn't work too well, but I think I will just do an overpaint of this one. And it's cool that there's a slight variation going on here in the texture. I think it's better than the purely flat shaders here. That's cool. So. Let's try to combine that. For the shoulder piece, well, let's do the neck piece here. I think it's rendered first, and I want to mix the fabric pattern together with the displacement maps. So texture, image texture, open. Yeah, I feel that it's getting slower a little. Yeah, I had the feeling as well that the Twitch stream is more responsive, but yeah, I think YouTube has a natural delay in there. Not quite sure what it's causing that, but characters, no. So program files, Pixel Logic, Zbrush 2020, LFS, and the first one, and then no. Mix RGB. Let's see how that works. Color in color 1, color in color 2, mix to multiply. Let's leave it at 0.5 and put it into height as well. What I need to do as well is to go to is there a way to repeat the texture, like make it tileable and repeat it like 20 times or something like that? Yashvi, thanks for the live stream. Yeah, thanks for being here, and all the best with whatever you're doing next. So hope you have a great day and see you next time, hopefully. The Babu, have you got the Node Wrangler add-on enabled? I think I should have that one on. So add-ons, I think it should be enabled. Node Wrangler, yes, it is. There's probably a shortcut that will set that up for me, I guess. Select your texture and press Ctrl T. Ah, awesome. And then I can probably play with the scale to repeat it. Texture coordinate mappings, and then let's do a 0.05. Okay, I want to tile it like 20 times. Maybe it's too much, maybe not. Let's see if we can see it in the material preview. Would be nice if there's some kind of visualization of the displacement maps, but probably not. Nope. But what I can do to test that is to just pipe the stuff into the texture slot. So everything has to load now. So this will probably take a few seconds. And when it comes to rendering, I think a faster computer is needed. So let's pipe this one into the base color. Slay Shadows, sir, is there your channel or online classes? You mean if I have online classes as well? Not yet. I'm planning to do a few, but it's still a work in progress, so it will take some time. And I want to learn properly the things that I want to teach in the classes, so yeah. Because I've seen your 100 days challenge that is on manga. Ah, I see. Thanks for going through those. It was quite a while ago. Most of the things that I'm doing right here can be translated to Maya as well. It's just a matter of where the buttons are. But when it comes to modeling especially, it's easier to translate. That looks great here. So let's go 10. I think 10 is nice. And it gets previewed here, so my mistake. I'm wondering why it's only... Okay, it's not going inwards, which is kind of... So maybe I have to do something like value. Nope. Ah, yeah, value. Mix, maybe. Add. Yeah, maybe it's... Let's see. Let's do an add in this one. It can only be very slightly here, so not quite sure if it's the right amount, but I probably have to make a test render. But if that works, then it could be cool. Slay Shadow, I have done one class in German. Good morning. Hey, good morning to you as well. Is it morning where you are right now? So I'm doing a test render now, just to see if the value is correct or not. And if it's correct, then I can apply it to the other objects as well, to the other cloth objects, and then I can do the render. So hopefully it will be rendered properly soon. I have to stretch myself a little bit. No, it's midnight, sir. Then it's Guten Abend, which is good evening. Guten Abend. Guten Abend auch an Sie. Good evening to you as well. Probably sounds quite weird to anyone that doesn't speak English. Speak German. So let's see how long it takes for the displacement to load for all the maps and stuff. Ah, Akio, sorry I overlooked or didn't see your question. I'm curious, do you know any languages other than English and German? I tried to learn French for a while, for half a year maybe, when I was in Belgium a few years ago, but I almost forgot everything. But I got to like the first level, I was able to understand a few things more. I can count in Chinese, in Mandarin, which is in a few sentences there, because my sister lives in China, or lived in China for quite a while. And I had Spanish in school for 5 years, and I don't know anything. I wasn't that good at Spanish in school. Okie dokie. Yeah, I sometimes wonder that myself as well. Ah. That fabric doesn't look too bad. Cool. I think that's the right amount. I just have to play with the specularity and the sheen next. But it seems to work quite well. So a good value. Perfect. Perfect. It's taking shape. It's taking shape. Cool. Akil, I'm learning Spanish now because it's required for college, but I'm trying to teach myself Korean. Oh, that's awesome. Korean is great. I wanted to learn Korean as well at one point because Kim Jong-gi, it's not Kim Jong-un, it's Kim Jong-gi. He is a master drawer, painter, artist. He can draw everything from imagination in the most crazy perspectives and with tons of detail. And I have huge admiration for that guy. And he doesn't speak any English, which is kind of a shame, because he has some online or recordings of his teachings online, but I can't understand them. And so, yeah, that's awesome. Korean is awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you know him. Jay. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, all the best with your Korean practice. It's always fun to dive into a new or a different culture. There's so much to it all the time. So let me see if I can use these here. The notes here. Control C and Control. Yeah, it worked. Awesome. So one for this, the same for the shoulder piece. That's so easy, or so convenient. Hardest thing for me right now is that the sentence structure is so different than English. Honestly, English is a really weird language and I'm a native speaker. What I heard is supposed to be really helpful is to transcript the sentences in Korean into English without replacing or changing the how do you say it? Like, can't remember how it's called, but word for word, you transcript the sentences from Korean into English and then learn the sentence structure through that. So you get a better feeling of how it translates and where the differences are. So J. My parents divorced when I was young and I grew up mostly with my dad and step, who are just your vanilla white Americans. Sucks missing out on that part of my background. Let me quickly go through up there. So what's the other part of, or the other half of your background? I can't find if it's Spanish or Korean. Oh, your mom's Korean. Yeah, I had a friend when I was younger as well, who was half Korean, and he didn't have any connection to his mom's side as well. And I think later he tried to learn Korean again, but I lost contact with him. But yeah, it must be quite. I don't know. I imagine it to be quite that there's something missing when there's part of your background that is not incorporated yet. So hopefully you can bridge the gap someday again. Okay, so far I've been using Korean for absolute beginners on Skillshare and it's been really helpful. Cool. I always thought that I don't know, I didn't value the tutorials on Skillshare too much because it was sponsored like everywhere and it kind of put me off. But cool that you found something that works well. Alright, no, 18 is too much. 16. Now everything should have the same, or mostly the same size of the pattern. So let's kick those. And put this one in the height. Jay, yeah, I only speak to my mom now, but being older and learning that now is hard. I went to Korea for a few summers ago and I loved it. Hopefully you get more opportunities to go there as well. To connect. Okie dokie. Alright, I think I'ma go now. Thank you for stream and everyone having a nice evening. Have a nice evening as well. Thanks for joining. And hopefully see you on Wednesday. So take care. Jay, but I grew up in a small rural town. It's the pro-Trump type of place. Was one of 2 Asians in my high school with white parents. Huh. Seems like quite the mixed up situation. Akil. I can't wait to go to Korea. I've never gone. I was supposed to go this summer to meet my fiance's family, but then, you know, COVID. COVID is real ass this year. Are you gonna add cloth fuzz or are you not that insane? I think today I'm not that insane because it's already pretty late. But I will play around more with the shader just to see if I can get a bit more out of it. But I won't go into the hair systems today. Alright. I can get more insane in the future, definitely. Guten Abend to you as well. Have a good night. Alright, now that is all in place. Let's see, did I want to change anything? Yeah, let's... Should have saved the render that I did before. Let's increase the sheen. This is like a Fresnel kind of effect. I will crank it up to like 0.5. And I will increase the roughness so it's not as shiny anymore. Just a little. We do have a lot of detail now that breaks up the speculas, so I will do it on just a little bit. But let's see if I can change that here as well. Let's check the render that I did before. Just want to see if I can increase the specularity. I think I can increase it a little bit. So I reduce the specular amount a little or the roughness a little. Alright. Yeah. So let's render. Akio, do you have any retopology tips when sculpting characters? That was always what caught me up in the past, and watching tutorials never seemed to help me. I will do a tutorial on that in the future. But my tip would be to, when you have references that have these colored areas, just look at where there are poles. And poles are points where more than 5 edges, no, more than 4 edges come out of. So if there are 5 edges coming out of one vertice, that's a pole. And look at the poles and mark these first on your model as well. And then you just have to connect the poles first to establish the colored sections. And it's really hard not for when I don't have visuals. But don't add too many subdivisions in the beginning. Try to be as low poly as possible, because you can always insert edge loops wherever you need. And first establishing like the big edge loops around the eyes, making a poly loop, so to say, for the eye mask, and then just the eyes for the mouth. And when you have that in low poly blocked in, you can add more detail to it. So, but I will do a video on that, so I hope this will come out soon. Okay, I know what visuals you mean, so I understand. I always used to start from the eyes and work outward, but it never worked. What you can do is to establish the, as I said, the outlines first of the eye. Just make a ring around the eyes of polygons, and place it so it's clean in the right place. Then do a ring just around the mouth, a ring maybe around the nose, and then it's about connecting these different patches. So yeah, I always like to work in sections, like establishing the important loops first and then just fill in the gaps in between. So maybe if you spread that out a little bit more, it might help as well. Yeah, and as Jay said, Flip Normals does have a tutorial on that one, which is quite cool. It should give a good start as well, at least. And they show exactly that with starting with low topology and then adding as you go. Akio, what would you use for retopology? I tried to do it in Zbrush, but I know a lot of people use Blender for it as well. I used to do it in Zbrush in the past, but I found it better to do it in Maya then, because of the ability to use the normal polygon modeling tools that I don't have available in Zbrush. But nowadays I think I would try to learn it in Blender as well. So if you're already familiar with Blender, or yeah, then use that, I would say. There's no need to do it in Zbrush. All right. Then we're in the same situation right now, so Slay Shadow. Maya, please retopo. It's actually really basic. I use the modeling toolkit, and then there's a draw option where you can draw individual points onto the mesh and then combine it. Maybe you can look up a tutorial on that. It's fairly straightforward, and then I make the high-res model live, so I can place the polygons on the surface, and it's I think fairly quickly. There should be tutorials out there that show everything that you need. Let me quickly show you, or look that up. Maybe I can find one. Flipped Normals actually has a quad draw tool. Yeah, exactly. And it seems like Flipped Normals does have a tutorial on this one, so I'm pretty sure they're using the same method. I haven't watched that particular video, but it should show you everything that you need to know. Alright guys, it seems like the stream is coming closer to an end. I will do another render just with the no, not modeling, not sculpting. I want to go to layout. I want to rearrange the camera, so, and increase the render samples. Just looking for an angle that will fit the character. Maybe this way? Then he looks back and not forward anymore. Maybe that's cool. I don't know. Let's increase the resolution and let it render for a bit. So let's see how long that takes. Alright, I think after that render is done, I will end the stream for today. It's almost 4 hours in, but yeah, it was quite a lot of fun today. So thanks everybody that is in the chat right now and active. So I really appreciate anyone that is attending those live streams and make the time enjoyable. So really appreciate it. Akil, it would be so cool if one day you could have a full body for Aang and do a short animation of basic bending moves. But that would be so much work. Or have an animation of him doing the small bending trick. That would be a lot of work, but it would be really cool. But yeah, I think this is too much to do on my own. I plan to do like collaborations with other artists, with friends of mine, to do like stylized characters, and then we want to rig the characters and animate them properly. So we do have, or a few friends of mine, we're planning to, we have a rigger, a look development artist, an animator, and me as a modeler, and we have a concept artist as well, and we want to collaborate to do small tests like these, but with original characters. So hopefully this will happen this year still, maybe next year. Everyone is so busy, it's hard to find time frames where people have time. But I would love to do like more personal stuff where we put it or get it to the next level. Not only still images, but maybe a small little sketch or just a walk cycle would be cool as well. In this way we could build a portfolio and see, hey, or show, hey, we can manage all of that, and maybe through that we will get commissions. I don't know. And even if not, it's still a nice way of creating portfolio pieces, collaborating with others, and yeah, especially when the other people, when the skill set of the other people don't match your skill level, or not skill level, the thing that they're doing. So if I'm doing modeling, for example, and the other one is doing look development, then that's perfect. So alrighty. Cool. Skill set. Yeah, skill set. Thanks, Akira. All right. Maybe I will render it from a different angle again, but this is where we'll end the stream today. So thanks everybody for joining. I hope you had a... Ah, no, where is it? There it is. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Again, thanks everybody that participated in the chat. It was quite enjoyable. And if anyone is interested in the recordings of this and of the past live streams, they're available through my Patreon page in the description. There you can also join our Discord channel, which is kind of cool, where we're sharing stuff like this and people working on their own stuff as well. So if you're interested in joining our small community, feel free to check out the links in the description. And thanks for all the patrons that are currently in the chat as well. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoyed today's stream as well. I will post this picture later in Discord just to keep track of it, and I will post the links to the recording of this live stream here as well. So thanks Jay, thanks Akira, Slay Shadow, everybody that is currently here. So hopefully see you on Wednesday. The next stream will be on Wednesday, same time, but this time I will work more on the anatomy study. So let me quickly show you, just as a small tease. So saving that. Thanks Klopf Klopf, good night to you as well. So let me quickly open it up. I will probably work before the stream more on the model, just to get it to a finished level. But Jay, where's Ronnie and Barry? They are still work in progress. My resin ran out, so I don't have enough to print them again, but they're supported already. The print file is ready to go. I just have to order some new resin. It should be there next week. But I can actually show you. So, so this will be the anatomy study that I will be continuing. So, but let me open up. Where is he? I think there should be it. Yeah, the world definitely does. It's quite a lot of fun. I hope it turns out the way that I anticipated, or that you anticipated. Alright, it's not here. Where's the file? Zbrush Project 5. MMM. Did I put it somewhere else in here? No. Hopefully I didn't deleted it. But let me show you in Blender. So, sorry I said goodbye and then I'm doing all of that. I will be away soon, so don't worry. So miniature. I put all of them into one file, all miniatures, so they are at a proper scale to each other. And there we are. There's Ronnie and Barry. So I think it's Control Shift H. Yeah, Shift H. So there they are with his little butt hanging out. Yeah, say hello to Barry, everyone. They're the perfect duo, I would say. And yeah, I can't wait to print them. They're all done already, so all the pieces are cut properly and they're all supported. But yeah, that little bit. Yeah, it's a really fun character, really fun piece. So thanks again for the suggestions for putting them together. It was definitely worth it. So really looking forward to having the miniature in my hand. Jay, you gotta do an animation where Barry is waving. Everything is like decimated and merged together. But yeah, maybe nah. I've put already enough time into these characters, and there are a lot more characters that are worth sculpting, so maybe next time. Will they print in colors? No, they will be gray, or the color of the resin. So, but yeah, hopefully there will be more cool characters like these in the future. And with people like you and other people in the chat, hopefully it will happen as well with all the suggestions. So that's it. Small sneak peek into the next print that I'm doing, and yeah, hopefully I will get a call from them. So yeah, I think I'm done for today. Now it's 10 p.m. So bye again to everybody. That's right. Thanks, Akir. So yeah, have a great evening and take care, everybody. Thanks for joining, and I will see you on Wednesday. So till then, have a good time and see you around. Bye everybody.